For generations, the path seemed pretty clear-cut. You work hard for 40, maybe 50 years, and then you finally get to enjoy your life. But what if that whole script is just wrong? What if there's a totally different path, one that could let you retire before your own parents even think about it? Well, we're about to dive into that idea, and it all kicks off with one really powerful question.
And this question is really the heart of the whole thing. It comes from the book Retire Before Mom and Dad, and it's almost a little provocative, right? Why do we have to wait until we're old and gray to start living the life we actually want? This isn't about some get-rich-quick scheme. It's about reclaiming your time, your life, and doing it a heck of a lot sooner than you think.
So, where in the world do we start? Well, it all begins with a pretty fundamental shift. We have to completely rethink what it means to be truly rich.
See, we're all taught to chase what's on the left here, traditional wealth. The high income, which, let's be honest, usually leads to more spending, and suddenly you feel trapped by all these obligations. But what this slide shows us is a completely different definition. True wealth, it's not about how much money you make. It's about having time, having options, and having the freedom to choose how you spend your days. It's about stability, not stress.
This quote just nails it. It completely flips the script on its head. The goal isn't to earn more so you can afford a bigger, more expensive lifestyle. The goal is to design a life that's so awesome, so fulfilling, that you just don't need all that extra stuff. The real freedom comes from needing less, not from earning more.
Okay, so we've redefined wealth. That's great. But how do we actually start building it? Well, the foundation. It isn't glamorous. It's really about raw, simple control.
So let me ask you this, and be honest with yourself. Do you truly control where your money goes each month, or does it kind of just disappear? Answering this honestly is the absolute first step, because if you can't, none of the other stuff we're going to talk about is even possible.
And here's the bottom line. Before you even start thinking about stocks or index funds or any cool investing strategy, you have to become the master of your own cash flow. It is the non-negotiable first step. Trying to invest without that control, it's like trying to build a house on quicksand. It's just not going to work.
All right, so if control is the foundation, what's the engine? Well, it turns out there's one single number that acts as the engine for this entire journey. It is by far the most powerful lever you have. And that magic number is your savings rate. It's not about how much you make, it's about the percentage of that income you actually manage to save and invest. This simple number is the core metric of the entire FIRE movement. That's financial independence, retire early. And it's the one thing that dictates the speed of your journey to freedom. Just look at this slide. It's a total eye-opener. A 10% savings rate, which a lot of people think is pretty good, puts you on that traditional 40-plus year retirement track. But watch what happens when you ramp it up. At 30%, you literally shave almost 2 decades off. And if you can hit a 50% savings rate, you could reach financial freedom in about 15 years. This right here, this is the accelerator pedal.
This is such a powerful way to reframe the whole idea of saving. It's not about depriving yourself. It's about actively purchasing your own freedom, $1 at a time. Every single choice to save money is a vote for your future self's independence.
Okay, so let's talk about investing. Once you've got that savings rate cranked up, you need to put that money to work. And in this way of thinking, investing has a very, very specific purpose. It's not about getting rich for the sake of getting rich. It's a tool with a very specific job to do. And this is that job. The entire point of building this nest egg is to get to a place of choice. See, financial independence doesn't mean you have to stop working and sit on a beach all day unless you want to. It means you get to work on what you love on your own terms because you want to, not because you have to in order to pay the bills. That is the ultimate freedom. So what's the secret? Complex strategy to get there? Well, you might be surprised because it's not a secret and it's definitely not exciting. In fact, its power comes from how beautifully simple and maybe even a little boring it really is. And here it is. The entire philosophy in 3 simple steps. 1, spend less than you earn. That creates the gap. 2, invest that gap consistently, every single month no matter what. Don't try to time the market. And 3, the hardest part for most of us, be patient and let the magic of compounding do its work over the long haul. It's not about being a genius, it's about being relentlessly consistent. And the tools you use are just as simple. The whole idea is to focus on proven, low-cost strategies. We're talking about things like index funds, which basically lets you own a tiny piece of the entire market instead of trying to pick winning stocks. Or a simple 3-fund portfolio.
The goal isn't to be smarter than the market. It's just to be more disciplined than your own emotions.
So, let's fast forward. You've done it. You've built your nest egg. Now, how do you make it last for the rest of your life? That's where something called the 4% rule comes in. It's a guideline, based on tons of historical data, that suggests you can safely withdraw about 4% of your total portfolio in your first year of retirement, and then adjust that amount for inflation every year after, without running out of money.
But, and this is a really big but, it's crucial to remember this is not a law of physics. It's a starting point, a guideline. You have to be flexible. You might have to adjust your withdrawals based on how the market is doing, maybe pull back a bit in down years. It's a guide, not a guarantee.
Okay, let's bring this all home. Because the spreadsheets, the savings rates, the investment strategies, they're all just tools. The real reason, the why behind doing any of this, is so much more personal and profound.
This quote just cuts right to the heart of it all. Are you actually living your life right now? Or are you waiting for permission to live it? So many of us are waiting for retirement, waiting for the weekend, waiting for some sign that it's okay to finally start living on our own terms. This whole idea is about giving that permission to yourself starting today.
So I'll leave you with this final thought. Forget about the 5-year plan for a second. It's about a single action. What is one small thing you can do, starting today, to begin buying back just a little piece of your future freedom? Because that's where this journey really begins.